Imagine a Hollywood superstar, fame, fortune, red carpets, and blockbuster hits. But behind the scenes, he's searching for something more. That's Matt Damon's story. He's an Academy Award-winning actor and a global icon, but it wasn't the fame or the fortune that changed his life. It was a moment so powerful that he calls it a miracle. This wasn't just a turning point, it was the moment that led him to Jesus. How does someone go from skeptic to believer in a world like Hollywood? Let's find out. Have you ever wondered what life is like for someone who has it all? Fame, fortune, and the adoration of millions. Sounds like the dream, right? That's exactly how most of us picture Hollywood superstar Matt Damon. But behind the flashing lights and blockbuster hits, there's a story not many know. A story about a man who started with humble beginnings and found staggering success. And later, something even more meaningful: faith. Let me tell you about the journey Matt Damon took before his life-changing miracle. Matt Damon was born on October 8, 1970, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, into a loving middle-class family. His parents, Nancy and Kent, were hard-working individuals, and they raised Matt and his brother Kyle with strong values. The Damon household wasn't exactly the kind of place where religion was front and center, but there was always a focus on morality, compassion, and doing the right thing. From a young age, Matt showed a passion for acting, something that set him apart even in his early years. Growing up, he attended Cambridge Ringe and Latin School, where he began to truly hone his craft. Those who saw him perform in school plays could tell there was something special about him. He had this ability to connect with people, to make you feel something through his performances. It wasn't long before his talent earned him a spot at Harvard University, where he studied English and drama. But let me tell you, Matt wasn't just about the books. This was the time when he teamed up with his childhood friend, Ben Affleck, to write what would become the screenplay for Good Will Hunting. Now, if you've seen Good Will Hunting, you know how powerful it is. That movie didn't just catapult Matt and Ben into the limelight, it also earned them an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. It was 1997, and Matt Damon had officially arrived in Hollywood. From there, he became the name everyone wanted to work with. Saving Private Ryan, the talented Mr. Ripley, and later, the Bourne series, all of these films cemented his status as one of Hollywood's most versatile and respected actors. But here's the thing about success. It doesn't come without its challenges. For all the fame and wealth Matt enjoyed, there was a part of him that felt like something was missing. He was skeptical about religion, and even though he had grown up in a family with Irish Catholic roots, his connection to faith wasn't particularly strong. He didn't go to church regularly anymore, and while he respected religious traditions, he saw himself more as a spiritual person than a religious one. Like many of us, he had questions, big ones, about the meaning of life and what matters when the spotlight fades. Hollywood, as glamorous as it seems, can be a tough place. The pressure to stay relevant, the constant scrutiny, and the moral compromises that often come with fame, it's enough to make anyone lose themselves. Matt wasn't immune to these struggles. He's talked about how the industry sometimes felt shallow, like it prioritized appearances over substance. And for someone like him, who valued authenticity, this was hard to reconcile. It was during these years of professional highs and personal questioning that he began to explore deeper questions about purpose, morality, and whether there was something more to life than just success. Matt Damon's life was like a perfect script, one success after another, surrounded by fame and fortune. But if you've ever felt like something was missing in your life, you'll understand where Matt was at that point. Even with all the applause and accolades, there was this quiet longing in him, an emptiness he couldn't quite explain. That's when the miracle happened. An experience so profound it shook him to his core and changed the way he saw everything. Matt hasn't shared every detail of what happened that day, but from what we know, it was an extraordinary moment that he can only describe as divine intervention. It wasn't just some random coincidence or an odd twist of fate. This was something bigger. He felt it in his heart, like the universe, or maybe something beyond the universe, was trying to tell him something. It was as if the curtain had been pulled back and he saw life in a completely different light. Matt Damon, once a skeptic of religion, found himself questioning everything after a life-changing miracle. What if there was a higher power? What if faith and redemption were more than just stories? Driven by curiosity, he turned to the Bible, not as a book, but as a source of answers. The teachings of Jesus on love, forgiveness, and purpose resonated deeply, drawing him toward a faith he never expected. What struck him was how practical faith could be. It wasn't just about rituals or going to church every Sunday. It was about something deeper, a relationship with God. Matt began to pray, tentatively at first, like someone testing the waters. But with each prayer, he felt a kind of peace he hadn't known before. It was as though the weight of all his questions and uncertainties was being lifted off his shoulders. Of course, faith isn't just a private thing. It has a way of spilling over into every part of your life. For Matt, this newfound relationship with Jesus began to influence the way he thought about his career and the choices he made. Hollywood is a place where moral compromises are almost a given, but Matt found himself rethinking what kind of roles he wanted to take on. He realized that success wasn't just about box office numbers or critical acclaim. It was about doing work that aligned with his values. This change wasn't easy. People in the industry noticed, and some even questioned his decisions. But for Matt, the clarity he found through faith was worth it. He started seeing his life not just as a series of accomplishments, but as a chance to make a difference. He understood that his platform wasn't just about fame. It was an opportunity to live out the teachings of Christ, helping others, showing compassion, and staying true to what he believed. When Matt Damon accepted Jesus into his life, it wasn't just a fleeting moment or a phase. It became the foundation of how he lived, how he worked, and how he loved. This wasn't about perfection. It was about progress, about finding balance in a world that constantly pulls you in every direction. For Matt, faith didn't just change how he saw himself, it changed how he saw the world. And he started living out those changes in ways that inspire people to this day. Matt Damon's faith reshaped his life, especially his approach to family. He prioritized his wife, Luciana, and their 4 daughters, grounding them in values like kindness, empathy, and respect. His faith also inspired him to engage with the world, co-founding water.org to bring clean water to those in need, a true act of living out Jesus' teachings. Despite the pressures of Hollywood, Matt chose roles that aligned with his conscience, even turning down lucrative offers to stay true to his beliefs. For him, faith was more important than fame. Prayer became his lifeline. In moments of doubt or struggle, Matt turned to God for guidance. He's shared how prayer gave him clarity and strength, even when decisions felt impossible. It's not just about asking for help, he says. It's about listening, finding peace, and trusting that God's plan is bigger than anything he could imagine. That trust gave him the confidence to move forward, no matter how uncertain the road ahead seemed. And then there's forgiveness. Matt often says that learning to forgive, not just others but himself, has been one of the most powerful lessons of his faith journey. Hollywood can be brutal, filled with people ready to tear you down, but Matt chose a different path. He realized that holding on to grudges only weighs you down, and letting go, whether through forgiveness or grace, brings freedom. It's something he tries to live by every day, both on and off the screen. For Matt Damon, faith is ever evolving. Not about perfection, but striving to live with purpose and love. From a skeptic in Cambridge to a man grounded in a relationship with God, his journey reflects true success, not in fame or awards, but in meaningful living through family work and service to others. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.